Hi everyone and welcome back. Today I would like to speak about Adio and how to build Adio. This has been a request from a couple of people in Discord and also from the YouTube channel. So Adio is this team that you are seeing right now is Aurora, Dante, Nebula, Iris, and Octavia. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best offensive teams. So in attack, it's not good in defense at all, as I said before. There are multiple reasons for that, but in attack is probably one of the best teams. I think probably the one with Sebastian, Kim Miao, etc. is also good, but I still prefer the version of Iris. Okay, so there are multiple things here, like which heroes we should upgrade, what we should upgrade. So I will be discussing this, like what, in my opinion, I will do or how I will level up this team. But my caveat here is when Octavia was released, I didn't have Dante, I didn't have Aurora, but I already have Nebula almost done and I have Iris max out because at that time, Nature was a very common team. So I was using Iris to fight against Nature, okay, and also against Jasmine sometimes because of the marks of Jasmine, okay. So for this reason, I already have done. So I cannot tell you I did it in this way and it worked perfectly. Maybe I am wrong. Okay, so for me, if I see this team, okay, the first thing you need to be aware is when don't to use it. Okay, when you should not use this team against. An easier manner to know it is never use these teams against Octavia because of Iris. Iris does a lot of damage, but does damage in a very small quantity, but a lot. And the point of this is Octavia will try to dodge because Octavia dodge magic. This is one of the abilities of Octavia. Okay. And the point of this is you will charge the Octavia team too much of energy and it will start ultimating and then it will be impossible to beat that team. So never use Iris against Octavia and hence never use this team against Octavia. Another two combo of heroes you need to be very careful is Faceless Jorgen because they stop the gain of energy, and also very careful with Aiden. Okay, and finally, and this is for all Octavia teams, and I will do a video about how to create a good defense Octavia team, is as you know, Octavia provides a lot of dodge and does dodge magic attack, as I mentioned before, not only physical attack. So one of the manners to beat Octavia teams is with pure damage using Heidi and Maya. Okay, so for the ability of Octavia, the last one, you cannot damage Octavia. So if any damage goes to the last hero, it will go to the fourth hero in your team. Heidi and Maya does a lot of damage to the last hero in a team. In that case, will be your fourth hero. In this team, in Adio, is Iris. Iris only has 200k of health. So with only Heidi or Heidi Nebula, the damage will be that hard and that fast that you will kill Iris before everything starts. In other words, what you need to remember when you create an Octavia team is if it's the hero you have as a 4 is less than 200 or 200k of health, it will be killed by Heidi. If the hero is 300k, it will be killed by Maya, Nebula, Heidi. If your hero is around 400 or above, is when the things become more interesting. This is the reason that sometimes you will see things like Jorge as a 4 hero. You will see also Lilith. You will see sometimes Lian, despite it doesn't have that much health because of the properties of Lian, of stun or in charm the enemy that does damage. For this reason, you will see sometimes Lian. Okay, in other words, you will see heroes with around 400k or more of health as a 4 hero. Okay, in that case, this team is done to attack, so you don't care because you are not going to fight with this team when you see Heidi or like you or when you see Octavia. Okay, so let's go to review how, in my opinion, you should do the heroes first. The engine is Dante Octavia, so you should start with Dante Octavia because you can add other heroes. It doesn't require to be the Adio team. For Dante, the priority here is always physical attack if you can. Okay, this is priority, quite important, and if you can, health. Usually, I will recommend always health, but because in this team in Adio, Dante is in second position and not in first position, is not that mandatory. Okay, but if you can, physical attack and as a secondary health is the thing that you need to focus. Okay, dodge is not important if you don't play in first position of the team. Also, agility gives you physical attack, but it's not as that much as doing the skin of physical attack. Okay, so if you can, you have everything. Physical attack first, okay, then health, and then agility. If your Dante dies, then stop leveling up the physical attack and start investing on the health, okay? Then for artifacts, my opinion is you should focus on the ring than give you physical attack, and book and weapon is not that mandatory. I will do weapon, and the reason is at least 4 stars, level 80 or level 85, because it will help you to improve your dodge for the whole team, because Dante will ultimate a lot of the times. Okay, one important thing that I didn't mention is important with Dante is if you have the talisman with the critical chance is very important, because Dante doesn't have critical chance, and particularly with Adio is not that important. But if you are going to use this with the version of Sebastian, the more physical attack team of Octavia you need to have. But for Adio is not that important. As you will see, all the damage will come from Iris and not from Dante. So honestly, if you don't have the talisman, it's okay. Okay, it's not like mandatory. And for glyphs, the same. You need to do physical attack and health, and later you can agility. Okay, this for Dante. For Octavia, which is the second, honestly, you don't need anything in Octavia apart of doing the health and physical attack of Octavia. The only thing is the artifact. You should ensure that you do the weapon 6 star, because Octavia is the one who is going to get energy from all the people who is dodging. So she will ultimate mass often than anyone else. So I will focus on Octavia weapon, okay? And then the ring, because Octavia needs physical attack. From skins, priority should be physical attack, then agility, and finally health. Okay? Remember that ultimate of Octavia, the health is important. So you don't have the health skin, it will only do 120k max per hit, but it's enough, a lot of damage. So for Adio particularly, Iris is the one who is going to do all the damage. So it's not critical, okay, to don't have the skin health, and that's it. So you don't do any of the skins, and maybe you can do half of the physical attack, will be okay. Octavia doesn't need too much investment, okay? So then we have Iris and Nebula. Nebula, if possible, is the one that really needs the talisman, because it's physical attack and increase the damage that gives to Iris and to Dante, okay, but particularly to Iris. So you have the talisman, try to do it. It's important, okay. For skins, physical attack priority. Forget about dodge, okay, and about armor. So physical attack, and then if you can agility to increase the physical attack. Artifacts, focus only on the physical attack, so in the ring, that will give you agility, and from them physical attack, and glitch the same, focus on physical attack and health, okay? The rest is not required. And then we have finally Iris. Iris, I will go directly to the glitch, because always do the armor penetration first of Iris, okay? Like magic penetration, sorry. This one, always first. Then magic attack, and then health. Very similar to what I said with Dante. If Iris start to dying, then increase the health is not needed, okay? Skins, super skin, magic attack, and then intelligent. You don't need to work on armor. For artifacts, ring is the less relevant, okay, the spice, and I will focus honestly on the artifact and on the book. And this will depend on if your iris dies or no, because the book gives you 50k of health and it's a hero that max has 220k. So it's quite important to level up, but also the ultimate of Iris is quite strong, because give her 30k on top. But to be honest, if you have a max out Iris, you have already 100k of magic attack. So 30% will give you 32% will give you 32% more, but it's not like mandatory. I think the most important thing is try to level between the book and the weapon, because Iris need health. Okay, at the end, the damage that Iris does is because of the marks of Dorian and the buff of of Dante, the debuff of Dante, and then is Iris put marks and then exploit. Okay, this team, particularly this team, despite Julius is counters Iris in a normal way, against Adio, Julius doesn't have enough time to remove the marks of Iris, and then really it doesn't counter Iris, something you need to be aware of. Okay. Finally, I have test couple of things using Adio only to show you the power of Adio. So the first one versus nature, and you see you get 10-0. This was obvious because it's what it is. I will show you a video, and you see you don't die anything, but I would like to focus on the time, on how fast Iris is going to kill this team, to give you an idea of the power. It's usually around 15 to 20 seconds, die. One thing I just realized is I didn't mention is you will say, hey, you didn't say anything about Aurora. You only focus in this team here. And the main reason is Aurora is better to have in this team, but it's not mandatory. So you don't have Aurora, you can put Corvus. And I will advise to do first Corvus than Aurora because you need Corvus versus Kayla. So you can play with Corvus here. If you don't have Corvus, you can go with no, you can put Sebastian if you have Sebastian. No, not Sebastian, sorry. Nebula need to be Bastin, Dante, and Iris, okay? So you can put Martha, for example. Okay, you can put Cascade if you have Cascade. You can put Aiden for protection. You can try to see how it works with another tank like Astaroth and do this test because Aurora is the less relevant tank. So if you are building this team, focus first on these 4 heroes and then use any additional one like particularly if you play with Martha, it works also. Okay, it helps. If no, Cascade is another one I will recommend. And honestly, you can try to play with Dorian if you have it with enough health. You can play with Phobos, with any of these. As far as Nebula, boss Iris and Dante, it will be okay. Okay, so let's see. Continue the battles. Okay, let's go back. Okay, the next one was versus staff. Okay, sometimes you lose Iris, other times no. So I would like to show you let's go with this one we lost Iris to see what happens here. But as you see 10-0 against staff, all the old teams, usually this team destroys all the old teams. It's only versus the Octavia teams and the ones that use Aiden or Faceless Jorgen. Okay, the thing here, Luther dies very fast. And the thing is, okay, Iris has to go into the first line because Clever pulled Iris to the first line, but it was already at the end. And this is what I was referring before about the damage. At the end is Iris who does all the damage, 2.4, and Dante, Aurora, that they don't do damage. No, and Nebula does do anything. It's obvious why. But at the end, like you don't really need. You cannot do physical attack for Dante. Then it's okay as far as Dante doesn't die. So focus on health because probably without doing the physical attack, maybe it works. It's not like the other things where you need Dante to do damage. It doesn't do damage. It's okay, So it's a relatively cheap team to do because at the end, it's like you can have a Dante with only health. You can have Iris max out or close to max out. This is important. Nebula only physical attack to boss Iris, and then you can have Octavia with the minimal, maybe with the physical attack skin, and it works well. Okay, the next team is against Progress. This is what I was mentioned before. The spy is Julius. The damage is that fast that Julius is not able to remove on time the mask of Iris. So you will see what happens. See the reduction of the life. You see Progress dead in 40 seconds. Sorry, in 20 seconds. Now we are trying to kill Julius is the last one, but it's already in the first 14 seconds we have killed 4 of the heroes. As you see again, Iris is the one who does the damage. Okay, for this is very important. Iris, you cannot remove Iris and put Heidi. The team doesn't work exactly the same. Versus Eternity, 10-0 again. Versus the Chaotix teams. Okay, the one who use Faceless and Jorgen, as I mentioned, you need to be careful because you can die. Because it slows down this super damage that does during the first 12 seconds. Okay, versus the one that doesn't have Faceless and Jorgen, the Spice. You have Aiden. You don't win, but here you have Aiden, Faceless and Jorgen. This is the problematic one. Let's go to see what happens here. We draw, so I will go to 4x because it's like superior battle, but you will see what happens here. We lost Nebula, so Iris doesn't do that much damage anymore. We stand to losing heroes slowly. And then the funny thing is we are able to hold for 1 minute with Aurora and Octavia only, which is quite interesting. The reason is the only really damage here is Cesa. Jorgen can do damage but need mind penetration and Faceless is dead, so you will not get it. Versus the version of Martha with Massey 10-0. And then this is an interesting team. Clever will pick up Iris, will kill Iris, and then the team will not have a damage dealer anymore, which is Iris the core one. Dante is not enough, so this is the reason is not able to win. So let's go to one of the matches that we lost. For this, we need to be careful here. Clever is another hero. You need to be careful for this team. Okay, the idea will be let's try to see if removing Aurora and putting another hero in front will help, like maybe Astrid. What happens here is you see Clever has picked up Iris and then we lost Iris and then it's particularly game over. Also, Nebula is a hero with not too much health. It's based on the dodge, but it's not enough sometimes. Also, remember that Clever does sometimes a pure damage that cannot be dodged. Okay, so this is what happens here. So careful with these things. Then versus the same team, but I put Corvus only to show you like it's not the problem of Aurora that I should have used Corvus because it's Kayla. You get worse results with Corvus. Then finally, same team than before, but instead of Aiden, we put Fafnir and we get 10-0. Okay, relatively safe. We can see what happens here. And again, this team, Adio, is a team that or kills in 20 seconds or usually dies. Okay, because the health that you see is quite low. 15 seconds done. And I will take forever to kill Clever, but that's it. Okay, and you see the damage that Iris does, 2 million something. Okay, the next thing was, let me see here. Okay, the next thing was the progress team, but using Oya to try to pick up Iris. And you see still 10-0. The next team is the one that use JJ, but well, a variation of JJ. Here really there's only Julius. Is the common Julius with Jasmine Fafnir, so Jasmine Sebastian, and then we have with Astrid and Aiden. This team is a very good team in defense. Okay, try to beat this team, and you will see it's not as easy as it looks like. The idea is Jasmine will do a lot of damage with Sebastian for the pure damage. At the same time, Sebastian reduce the defense of the front hero, and Astrid is very good to put pressure in front of. Then we have Aiden that increase the health but also provide strong shields. Really, this team is quite good. And of course, on top of that, you have Julius. Okay, but anyway, with this team 10-0 versus the Jasmine version of Tristan, Oya, Fafnir, and Jasmine, we get 10-0 also, so we are able to beat. And then finally, this was what I wanted to mention before, like how to beat the team itself. You only need Heidi and Nebula. In that case, I have used my own Octavia team. This is the common Octavia team that I use to beat other Octavia teams. It doesn't work for all the teams. Particularly, if the fourth hero has a lot of health, this team will not work. But if the fourth hero has a lot of health, it will work. Okay. And then one thing I wanted to show you is what I mentioned before, like all this team, we were beating 10-0, but when we changed Iris for Heidi, then we lost 3-7. Okay, so you cannot replace Iris for Heidi. Okay, but you need Heidi to fight Octavia. So one of the advice here is, imagine you don't have Aurora and you go with the Martha version with Iris. It's a good team because in the future, if you fight against other Octavia teams, the only thing is you remove Iris and then you put Heidi. And usually 50% of the team wins. But again, no one now in high guilds is using a low health as a 4th position because they know that Heidi will kill this team. Okay, so hope it helps and see you soon.